So, let's talk. It's your boy, Academics. If you guys don't notice, after I reported the story about the RIAA, they made a couple changes to how they certified albums. A lot of people kind of got issues with it, okay? More recently, and actually as recent as 2 days ago, Nicki Minaj, the Pink Print, just went double platinum. Now, this is kind of a big surprise and a big change to some people because if you've been following her pure sales, she hasn't sold, at least when I mean pure sales, somebody bought the Pink Print either on iTunes or went in a store and they copped the entire CD, of course, right? But she hasn't sold over 1 million in pure sales. Okay, which if you're thinking, so how the fuck is she double platinum? The way the RIAA does it now is, number one, it doesn't really check sales. It checks the amount of CDs shipped, but it also now checks track sales, which means if somebody only buys whatever Anaconda, right? If they only buy Anaconda like 1 million times, it's gonna be equivalent to 10 of those will be an album, okay? So it'll be grouped by tens, okay? Not only that, streaming-wise, and a lot of people are going towards streaming. Streaming-wise, 1,500 streams is now an album. Now, also, Future, and a lot of people, because I've heard this argument about Future a lot. People say, yo, how could Future really be popping like that if he's never went gold? But now, as I said, and I'm going to continue to say, the metrics are changing. So it's not only about albums being purchased, it's also about albums being streamed or even singles being streamed. So Future Dirty Sprite 2 is Future's, and I'm searching the RIAA database, okay? This is his only official project that has been certified gold. Of course, his raw sales isn't over 500,000, but again, just like with Nicki Minaj, because Future has a lot of streams and people are copying this single here, it adds to his total. Now, here's the overlying question, and this is what we're discussing. Is this a good thing or a bad thing? I hear some people say, yo, we're diluting the system. If you're going to be platinum, you have to have sold 1 million records. If you're going to be gold, you have to have sold 500,000 records. But is that really the case, man? Or is that still even relevant? People are still consuming music at the same pace, maybe even more. Actually, if you look at the analytics, it says people listen to music more now than ever before. So if we only go by album sales, and you know, if you a trap nigga listen to Future, you're not buying the album. You might have a 30-day free trial on Tidal or Spotify or Apple Music where you're listening to it free, so you're streaming it, but you're not copying the fucking album, right? You're not buying the physical project. And also, he puts out so much music, you're probably not going to spend money each and every time he puts something in stores or on iTunes, right? So the fact is this, right? And this is my opinion. You guys are more than welcome to disagree, and this is the reason why I kind of, the news, of course, is that Future has been certified gold, and of course, Nicki's double platinum, but it's really a video for you guys to engage in a discussion with me and everybody else, okay? Here's the thing. The certification process, number one, there's a business in that, right? Getting these labels to certify their albums. There's auditors and auditing companies that's part of their business. So they kind of want people to do good that they get paid. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, certifying an album now, it doesn't only designate the sales, it actually kind of more designates the success of the album, which means the success in total, which means if people are copying singles, if people are streaming it, if people are buying it. So it's more inclusive of all the ways people actually check out music. So for me, it's a good thing. Because when I look at an album that went gold, right? Because if we look at different eras, right? If we look at albums that came out in like 2000, right? Or even the early 2000s, you're going to see a lot of people who are definitely not relevant now. They got gold and platinum plaques. You could even argue that, say, somebody like Nicki Minaj or Drake. Are you going to tell me Drake, who really, he's never had an album that went like 5 times platinum within the United States, is less hot than somebody comparatively that went like, I don't know, 4 or 5 times platinum in the early 2000s? I wouldn't say that's the case. So we have to kind of get the metrics up that we're kind of checking out these albums with, and we got to update them. And that's what it is. That's simply what it is. Now, I hear some people say, well, and this is true, right? If you got a big single, like Fetty Wap had big singles, it's going to push your album sales a little bit more up there. Before it wouldn't. Before it'd be like, yo, your single went platinum, that's about it. But now, if you got a big single, it's going to push your sales up there because people keep copying 10 of it, 10 of it, 10 of it is going to keep adding up as album sales as well. So I kind of get that. But you also got to realize that it's not happening for everybody. Not everybody's album is being streamed all over the place. Not everybody's putting out these big singles. So really, in essence, in just my opinion, other than the fact we might have inflated sales somewhat on, say, for example, Fetty Wap or anybody who's a single-oriented artist, I still think the metrics helps everybody else because they're going back and they're certifying albums retroactively, which means everybody wins. If you dropped an album during this quote-unquote streaming era, you're going to win. Now, some people might be really traditional, but as I'm saying, man, when's the last time you copped an album? Like, bought it? Like, be honest, right? With all the mixtape apps you guys probably have on your phone, with Tidal and Spotify having these exclusive releases, when's the last time you really copped an album? Just be honest with yourself. So I believe that old system is antiquated, and I think the RIAA is trying to keep up by using these other measures, and I got no problem with it. You know what I mean? Other than the fact that we will see a little bit more people that are single-oriented kind of get a little boost. I do think it's now more reflective of the overall success of an album, which means if your album is really popping and people are checking it out, you can then knock the artist by saying, oh yeah, we're all listening to your shit, but you flopped, right? Or you didn't go platinum or gold. Because if we're all listening to this shit, right, and theoretically there's more people listening to music now, it should get the accolades. That's something that would have been dropped 10 years ago would have. So you guys can comment box, make sure you guys like, definitely subscribe, just my opinion. But Nicki Minaj Pink Print, now double platinum. The sales, pure track sales, pure album sales actually, have not passed 1 million. Neither has Future Dirty Sprite 2 passed over 500,000, but they're double platinum and gold respectively. It's your boy Akademiks, man. I'm out.